Let's go ahead and work on the GVC distance and midpoint formulas. This one has 9 questions, and let's go ahead and go through. In the figure below, ST equals 19, so right here is 19, and SV equals 35. So this whole thing right here from one side to the other is 35. Okay. Now with that information, we can say, all right, we don't need this piece anymore, so we're going to take it away. So 35 minus 19 gives us 16. Okay, and that would be what we put right there. And that's how long TV is 16. So you just take the whole thing minus the part that you know. Okay, next one. Number 2. Find the midpoint of section AC, or line segment AC. So we have A and we have C, and we want to know where the middle is. The middle is the same thing as the median. To get the median, you take the two numbers, add them together, so negative 10 plus negative 2, and then you take that and divide it by 2. So we have negative 10 plus 2, and that would be negative 12 divided by 2, and that is negative 6. So that's the midpoint right there. Negative 6 is the exact middle of that line segment. So I'm going to put negative 6. Okay, next one, number 3. In number 3, we're given a smaller section here, but it's in different pieces, and so we need to figure out what we can. R is the midpoint of QS, so I'm going to mark that as those two lines are congruent. Okay, so I know RS and QR are exactly the same. Well, if RS is 5, then QR is also 5. QT, the whole thing here, is 14. Okay, so we have 5, 10, and the rest is 14. So 10 plus what is 14? That would make that piece 4. So find ST, that would be 4. Okay, next one. Calculate the distance. Now the distance formula is done by this. You take x minus x, so to the two x's minus each other, y minus y, and then whatever the answer is, you're going to square it and add them together. Okay, so with that in mind, let's do that. Here's x and x. So what's negative 1 minus 7, or 7 minus negative 1, it doesn't matter. 7 minus negative 1 is 8. And we're going to take y minus y. So 4 minus a negative 3 is 7. And you see, I just did it so I got positive answers. If you get a negative answer, you just ignore the negative number. So now we're going to square them and add them together. 8 squared is 64. 7 squared is 49. So when we add those together, we get 113. So our answer is the square root of 113. And this one doesn't want any decimal approximation, and that's all it means. It means I'm going to put that and 113. That's my answer. So you don't have to enter that into the calculator. You just leave it the way it is. Okay, number 5. Again, distance formula. So x minus x, 9 minus 6 is 3. Y minus y, 8 minus a negative 1 is negative 7. And I'm just going to put 7 because it's distance, but it doesn't matter if you put the 7, that's okay, because you're just going to square it anyway, and that'll give you a positive number. So what's 3 squared? 3 squared is 9, plus what's negative 7 squared? Negative 7 times negative 7 is 49, and that gives us 58. So the answer is the square root of 58. So just remember, x minus x, y minus y, square them and add them together. Number 6. This is the same as the others. It wants the distance. Okay, here's the endpoints. Follow the directions. Give an exact answer. Find the length of each segment. That's the distance. So we want x minus x and y minus y. So 4 minus a negative 1 is 5. 8 minus 6 is 2. Now square them. Add them together. And you get 5 squared is 25. Plus 4, 2 squared. And that equals 29. So our answer here is the square root of 29. Now we do the same thing for the next line. Y minus y, or excuse me, x minus x and y minus y. So we have negative 2 minus 0, which is negative 2. And we have negative 8 minus a negative 3, which is negative 5. Doesn't matter the negatives, you can ignore them completely or use them, doesn't matter. You'll get the same answer. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. 4 plus 25 is 29. So there's that answer. So we have the square root of 29. Okay. Now, I'll clear that so we have room. But the last one, negative 5 minus 0, is negative 5. And you see, it doesn't matter which direction you go. 3 minus 1 is 2. Square it and add it together. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. 2 times 2 is 4. Add them together. Square root of 29 again. Okay, so we just happen to get the same answer for all of them. Square root of 29. So this next section down here says which ones are true. This little symbol here means they're congruent, or the same length as each other. They're equal. Okay, so in our case, they're all equal to each other, so I'm going to check all of those. Some of them you're going to have different numbers each time. If that's true, then none of them are true. Or you might have 2 that are the same and choose the 2 that are the same. So that's how you do number 6. Number 7, same thing. We're finding the length of each segment. So x minus x. And we have negative 7 minus a negative 4, or negative 4 minus a negative 7. If I do it that way, it's 3. 7 minus 2 is 5. Square them. Add them together. 3 squared is 9. 5 squared is 25. Add them together, we get 34. Okay, so our first number is square root of 34. Now our next number, 1 minus a negative 2 is 3. Negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. Square them. Add them together. 3 squared is 9. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. So we get 34 again. Okay, so our answer here is also the square root of 34. JK. So let me clear that out so we have just a little bit of room. 6 minus 0 is 6. 6 minus 7 is negative 1. I'll put parentheses there, so we square them, add them together. 6 squared is 36. Negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. 36 plus 1 is 37. So our answer here is the square root of 37. Now which ones are the same? BC and FG are the same. So BC and FG, and that's the only one I'm going to check because none of the rest are the same. Number 8, find the midpoint. Now the midpoint is different than the distance formula. You're just trying to find the middle. So with that, you add the two together. 8 plus negative 2 and divide by 2. So 8 plus negative 2 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my new x number is 3. Okay. Now my next number, 8 plus a negative 6, is 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So there's our 1. And that's the answer. That's all you have to do on that one. And number 9 is also the midpoint. So we have these two to add together. Negative 6 plus negative 2 divided by 2, and that gives us negative 8 divided by 2, and that is negative 4. Okay, so there's our x. We do the same thing with y. Negative 6 plus 8 divided by 2, and that turns out to be 2 over 2, and that's 1. So there's our y. So our x is negative 4, and then I found the y to be 1. So there's our x comma y. That's how you do the assignments. Hopefully that helps. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask me. Take a screenshot or write it down. Ask me how to do it, how you're, and I'll be more than happy to show you.